Good morning. My name is Father Tom Mulcrone, the IAFF chaplain and the chaplain for the IAFF Fallen Firefighter Memorial. It is my honor to once again serve as the Master of Ceremonies for this sacred memorial tribute. One programming note, we request that those of you who may be tempted to use an umbrella for shade, please refrain from doing so because the people behind you won't be able to watch the ceremony. We are gathered today in this special place to honor the memory of those IAFF members who have given their lives in the line of duty. We are joined today by IAFF General President Ed Kelly, IAFF General Secretary Treasurer Frank Lima, the entire IAFF Executive Board, and numerous distinguished guests and friends. We are also joined by more than 1,000 members of the IAFF Honor Guard and IAFF Pipes and Drums, and we're also honored by the music of the Colorado Springs Chorale. On behalf of the IAF family, I welcome you and your family and friends to the fall of our fallen, to the thousands of fellow firefighters who have made the pilgrimage to this memorial in Colorado Springs to pay respects to their brothers and sisters. This is the only monument that collectively honors professional union firefighters and emergency medical personnel from the United States and Canada who have lost their lives in the line of duty. This memorial was founded in 1986 by IAFF Convention Action. The centerpiece of this memorial, a sculpture of a firefighter descending a ladder while cradling an infant in one arm, entitled Somewhere Every Day, arrived in 1987. And the first granite walls displaying the etched names of our fallen were erected in 1989. In January of 2015, supported by a unanimous vote of the delegates at the 2014 IAFF convention to remodel and restore the site, the memorial was temporarily decommissioned to allow for the rebuilding process to begin. Over the next 8 months, union construction crews and stonemasons carefully deconstructed the memorial and incorporated the precious stone from those original hallowed walls into our new family ring that now serves as a pathway for our families to follow as they remember their loved ones. The talented hands of the workers who labored on our members' behalf sculpted these new granite walls that now rise to the memory of those we have lost. They engraved their names and placed these strong bronze guardians to stand silently watching over our fallen every hour of every day. Now I invite you to please rise as the IAFF Honor Guard presents the colors. Once the colors are posted, please remain standing as the Colorado Springs Chorale sings the national anthems of Canada and the United States.
All uniformed personnel, attention! Prepare to carry colors. Carry colors. Pipe Major, by your command. Honor guard. Forward. March. To the Canadian colors, all uniformed personnel, present arms. Order. Arms. To the United States colors, present arms. Order. Arms.
Hey.
As we place ourselves in the presence of our God, let us pause and remember all of our fallen brothers and sisters of the fire service and of the armed forces of the United States and Canada, those brave ones who have made the ultimate sacrifice and whose memory is near to our hearts. Let us keep in our prayers this day our brothers and sisters in the West still battling devastating effects of the destructive wildland fire season. Let us pause now in silence as we remember our fallen. Lord God, we gather under the splendor of your creative majesty to honor and to remember the 469 members of our IAFF family whom you've called home to yourself. For their families, we pray that by your mercy, they may come to know peace and healing. We pray especially for those whose hearts are still broken and ask that by your grace they may come to know your presence, healing their shattered spirits, opening for them a world of hope. Embrace with your heavenly care all those brave sisters and brothers whose names are engraved on this sacred memorial. We shall never forget the great sacrifice of all these true heroes, these great ones who through the years have given their lives for the least of their brothers and sisters. Remember too, Lord, our wonderful hosts and the caretakers of this proud memorial, the brothers and sisters of IAFF Local 5. Their hospitality and dedicated work are a wonderful blessing for all of us. And send down upon the leadership of this international union the blessings of wisdom and fortitude in their struggle to protect and defend dignity and the rights of our members. Embrace in your love those who gather to remember their loved ones this day. In every way, Lord, bless your people that we may rest and rise, live and die, and be reborn in the loving care of you, our God. In so doing, may we live always as sisters and brothers formed by your mighty word. May God bless this union and our two great nations. Amen.
First color. Mark time. Mark. Final one. Forward. Mark.
Forward. Mark.
Forward. Forward. Hooray. Cut.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the tradition of our union and the fire service, IAFF General President Ed Kelly and General Secretary Treasurer Frank Lima and 9th District Vice President Mike Frenier will now honor our brothers and sisters by the placing of a memorial wreath.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
This beautiful city and its citizens are protected by the members of Colorado Springs Professional Firefighters, IAFF Local 5. Our brothers and sisters here are the caretakers, 365 days of the year of this memorial. Local 5 is one of the original 18 locals that established the IAFF more than 100 years ago on February 28, 1918. I now ask IAFF Local 5 President Kurt Crum to provide greetings. Kurt?
Good morning. Honored guests, General President Kelly, General Secretary Lima, Chief Royal, members of council, welcome and thank you for being here today. To those family and friends of loved ones being honored here today, it is my sincere honor to offer you the warmest welcome and the biggest embrace. It is with a heart full of sorrow and pride that I am up here to welcome you. Since the late 1980s, the men and women of Local 5 and the Colorado Springs Fire Department have had the distinct privilege of being the host local for this solemn event. We have the honor of watching over these hallowed grounds, not just for the week of the memorial, but year-round. We also have friends, acquaintances, and loved ones honored on these walls. So just as Pikes Peak is the mountain that watches over our city, please know that Local 5 will always be here to watch over your loved one's memory. I want to acknowledge the sacrifice that so many of you have endured. You bravely supported your loved ones as they gave of themselves, as they stood in front of others to make them safe. Please understand that your fire family is here now to support you. You are not alone. We stand together. Know that we honor you as much as we honor your loved ones. We thank you for allowing and supporting them in an endeavor that is truly about others. None of them entered firefighting thinking they would someday be rich. All of them entered knowing the potential cost. All of us in the fire service know the risks. You all knew them as well, yet you supported their decision to sacrifice in the service of others. There is no greater honor for them or for you. For this, we thank you. I've been a part of or attended more than 15 memorials. This year's memorial is a little bit different. This is a time of new leadership at the IAFF. With that leadership comes change. It is a year to make up for absence. For the first time since the inception of the memorial, we did not host it twice. While this event is about the loved ones we have lost, I am again blessed to be able to welcome you here in person. As long as the risk of losing loved ones in the line of duty exists, it is important to be able to gather together to honor those that we lose. Important to gather with others that have suffered the same fate. Important to be supported and embraced by the many firefighters at this memorial to show their gratitude and compassion for the sacrifices made and the people left behind. Many of you are here for the first time. Some have been here before. For those of you here today, to honor your loved ones, I want to extend an invitation to come back. Come experience this again in a different way. Or just come visit your loved one's memorial anytime. If you choose to do so, we will be here for you. Know that your Local 5 fire family is here with you today, with you in thought in your absence from these memorial walls, and will be here with you anytime you choose to visit this sacred place. Now it is my honor to introduce the Colorado Springs Fire Chief, Chief Randy Royal. Chief Royal has lived a life in the fire service. He has been and continues to be an ardent supporter of this memorial, firefighters, and the families that support them. Chief Royal.
We, the firefighters of the Colorado Springs Fire Department, and the citizens of Colorado Springs, are extremely honored to welcome you to our city. We are even more privileged to be able to host this important event, honoring our brothers and sisters here on the sacred ground within Memorial Park. Our thoughts, our prayers, and our hearts go out to each and every family member who has added a loved one's name to this wall in the past, and to those families presently that now have added their names in preparation for the event today. Many of our firefighters and our citizens volunteer to serve you during this Memorial Week, whether providing information, answering questions, or aiding in transportation. Most importantly, they try to provide support to you through compassion and care. That being said, all of us fully respect that even the highest level of service that we can provide is only a faint gesture compared to the heroic sacrifice that was given to their communities by your loved ones, and the ultimate cost to you as a family, as a department, and as a community. In 1893, Kathleen Lee Bates wrote America the Beautiful after traveling up to the top of Pikes Peak just west of us and basking in the purple mountain majesty. I want to focus on the third verse of that poem, as I feel it speaks clearly of and is relative to the service of firefighters, as well as being applicable to all of our men and women across our great nations in the United States and Canada and within North America. I'll repeat each line as I want you to fully take them in. Oh, beautiful for heroes proved in liberating strife, who more than self their country love, and mercy more than life. America, America, may God thy gold refine. To all success be nobleness, in every gain divine. Let me repeat that. Oh, beautiful for heroes proved. Firefighters will give when needed. They are heroes proved. In liberating strife, they work daily to free people from pain, suffering, and heartache. Who more than self their country love, they put themselves in harm's way for their community and for their country. May God gold refine. Gold is made pure by fire. Firefighters by the challenges they endure and that they take on. To all success be nobleness, and every gain divine. The fire service is a divine service, one in which our firefighters are willing to put their lives at risk for people they do not know. Each and every day, they liberate strife, whether it is a life rescued, a life brought back after a cardiac arrest, or the gentleness and compassion provided when those they respond to lose a loved one. I share whenever I can in public that when firefighters go out the door, they generally do have an idea what they're running on: a rescue, a fire, a hazmat call, or a medical. But they do not normally know who they're running on. And that does not matter. It does not matter what color of skin they have. It does not matter if they are rich or poor. It does not matter if they have a religious belief or if they do not. It does not matter what their political leanings are. What does matter is that they are a person in need And you can have confidence that firefighters are going to do everything in their power, even to the extent of sacrificing their own lives so that it can help another. When I share this, I follow up in public that how better would it be if our countries and nations today would act like firefighters in loving their neighbors more than themselves, in serving without bias, in being respectful for life itself for life's sake, and for the betterment of humankind worldwide. Families and loved ones, thank you for supporting your firefighter in this noble endeavor. Our thoughts, prayers, and heartfelt support are with you. They are truly beautiful as heroes proved. Thank you.
Thank you to the Colorado Springs Chorale for your uplifting music. We will now begin that part of the memorial service that honors our IAFF members who have died in the line of duty. The names of our fallen will be read by Honor Guard members from IAFF affiliates across the United States and Canada. After each name is read, a bell will sound, and a team of flag bearers will render a flag salute with the colors lowered for each name as it is spoken. An IAFF Honor Guard member will then present the family the flag of the International Association of Firefighters. In order to assist us with the presentations, we ask that only one representative from each family stand when your loved one's name is read, and that you remain standing until the flag presenter reaches your seat. At that time, all the members of the family that wish should stand and jointly receive the IAFF memorial flag. Following the presentation of the last flag, the IAFF Honor Guard will toll the bell and play taps. I now invite our Honor Guard to begin reading the names of our fallen.
Forward! March!
We will now present the 106 names of those line of duty deaths from 1918 through 2018 that were reported to us during this past year. These members died from occupational diseases that were recognized by their fire department, their local or their state or provincial government as occurring in the line of duty.
Herman J. Otto, Local 66, Waterloo, Iowa. Salvatore N. Galasso, Local 274, White Plains, New York. Bernard J. Callahan, Local 274, White Plains, New York. William J. Schulver, Local 486, Chatham, Kent, Ontario. Christopher Harmon, Local 274, White Plains, New York. Donald E. Starr, Local 282, Buffalo, New York. Vincent E. Davis, Local 498, Kingston, Ontario. Terry W. Smerdell, Local 798, San Francisco, California. Harry L. Frazier, Local 372, Long Beach, California. Willie J. Blakely, Local 293, Erie, Pennsylvania. Albert Beret, Local 288, Hamilton, Ontario. Reuben L. Stubblefield, Sr., Local 341, Houston, Texas. Brian Kirby, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario. Yaroslav Briska, Local 2592, Ancaster, Ontario.
Jean-Guy Daigle, Local 125, Montréal, Québec.
Lloyd Rutherford, Local 288, Hamilton, Ontario. Charles L. Allison, Local 2546, Venice, Florida. Raymond J. Hennessy, Local 2928, Palm Beach County, Florida.
Norman A. Plouffe, Jr., Local 3372, Coventry, Rhode Island. Anthony P. Brusco, Local 2546, Venice, Florida. Bruce A. Campbell, Local 2546, Venice, Florida. James Miller, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario. James N. Crenshaw, Local 2928, Palm Beach County, Florida. Edward McCarron, Local 2928, Palm Beach County, Florida. Peter M. Panosian, Local 1363, Cranston, Rhode Island. Robert W. Aldridge, Local 288, Hamilton, Ontario. Andrew B. Lang, Local 1363, Cranston, Rhode Island. Joseph F. Kriebel, Local 22, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Richard A. Brenner, Local 2546, Venice, Florida. Michael J. Thompson, Local 2928, Palm Beach County, Florida. Walter G. Tarlowski, Local 2546, Venice, Florida. Louis J. Young, Local 3660, Weston, Massachusetts. Deborah A. Schuster, Local 2546, Venice, Florida. Thomas Kovich, Local 209, Edmonton, Alberta. Terry P. Cassell, Local 279, Cheyenne, Wyoming. Timothy J. Monahan, Local 2928, Palm Beach County, Florida.
Arthur Guillaume, local 125, Montréal, Québec.
Roger D. Forrest, Local 2928, Palm Beach County, Florida. Edward T. Moore, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario. Mark A. Schultz, Local F25, Tidewater, Virginia. John J. Tennant, Local 809, Pasadena, California. John W. Spiker, Local 1364, Ventura County, California. Joseph Humanick, Local 209, Edmonton, Alberta. Grant L. Wilson, Local 162, Ottawa, Ontario. John Lang, Local 4321, Broward County, Florida. James F. Miller III, Local 2928, Palm Beach County, Florida. Robert L. Blair, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario. Francis E. Batchelder, Local 740, Portland, Maine. Peter J. Walsh, Local 3660, Weston, Massachusetts. Matthew T. Bunch, Local 754, Tampa, Florida. Alan J. Columbro, Local 2881, Cal Fire, Sacramento, California. Cynthia D. Kelly, Local 4321, Broward County, Florida. Gordon F. Paquette, Local 162, Ottawa, Ontario. Norman R. Wiles, Local 809, Pasadena, California.
Charles E. McLeod Jr., Local 3660, Weston, Massachusetts. Henry A. Tratch, Local 288, Hamilton, Ontario. Robert M. Gless, Local 94, New York, New York. Robert A. Hobart, Local 754, Tampa, Florida.
André Bertrand, Local 125, Montréal, Québec.
Paul D. Brodier, Local 1397, Falmouth, Massachusetts. David P. Simmons, Local 3731, Keller, Texas. Robert T. Wolf, Local 2881, Cal Fire, Sacramento, California. Franklin D. Maresh, Local 341, Houston, Texas. Jim W. Vinson Sr., Local 2928, Palm Beach County, Florida. Armand Calzadia, Local 3444, Bonita Springs, Florida. Stanley E. Brooke, Local 18, Vancouver, British Columbia. Andre S. Jones, Local 809, Pasadena, California.
Denis Lacombe, Local 125, Montréal, Québec.
Michael McJury, Local 2928, Palm Beach County, Florida. Crystal J. Murphy, Local 2903, Lacey, Washington. Jeffrey S. White, Local 157, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Jesse L. Nicasio, Local 1289, Modesto, California.
Jeffrey L. Johnson, Local 341, Houston, Texas. Donald A. Reed, Local 1552, Burlington, Ontario. Victor C. Valva, Local 854, New York, New York. Richard L. Dittman, Local 754, Tampa, Florida. Michael T. Warfel, Local 1664, Montgomery County, Maryland. Timothy McFadden, Local 1595, Vaughan, Ontario. William C. Donaldson, Local 2546, Venice, Florida. Eric L. Schuss, Local 2781, Snohomish County, Washington. Ronald A. Grimstead, Local 341, Houston, Texas. Brent G. Kroback, Local 94, New York, New York. Philip J. Wedgeworth, Local 341, Houston, Texas. James J. Herson, Local 94, New York, New York. David M. Taylor, Local 202, Fresno, California. Kenneth W. Boutillier, Local 528, Niagara Falls, Ontario. Robert P. Muiccio, Local 854, New York, New York. Oni D. Durney, Jr., Local 202, Fresno, California. Dennis E. Page, Jr., Local 58, Dallas, Texas.
George R. Shear, Local 94, New York, New York. Sandra Kiefert Johans, Local 202, Fresno, California. Garnett R. Cannon, Local 528, Niagara Falls, Ontario. Jason S. Pollard, Local 2881, Cal Fire, Sacramento, California. Ruben M. Marietta, Local 1364, Ventura County, California. Wayne A. Aviat, Local 593, Provo, Utah. Arthur E. King, Local 935, San Bernardino County, California. Edward J. Parrish, Jr., Local 718, Boston, Massachusetts. Michael E. Lewis, Local 972, Lubbock, Texas. Camillo A. Russo, Local 341, Houston, Texas. Brian Carter, Local 142, London, Ontario. Clifford Goodell, Local 1582, Oakville, Ontario.
Jacques Auger, local 125, Montréal, Québec.
Timothy B. Cunningham, Local 341, Houston, Texas. Valentin Ramos, Local 3128, Fitchburg, Massachusetts. Joel S. Stevens, Local 4683, South County, Texas. Joe F. Leggio, Local 341, Houston, Texas.
We will now present the 202 IAFF members who died in the line of duty between January 1st and December 31st, 2019. Richard H. Meehan, Local 94, New York, New York. Kenneth E. Porteus, Local 460, Brantford, Ontario. Eric Hosette, Local 609, Clinton, Iowa. Roger V. Harless, Local 1230, Contra Costa County, California. Randall Duarte, Local 1014, Los Angeles County, California. Tom T. Gilbert, Local 455, Windsor, Ontario. Richard A. Tellis, Local 493, Phoenix, Arizona. Douglas Robb, Local 255, Calgary, Alberta. Ronald J. Cronin, Local 457, Kitchener, Ontario. Edgar W. Keynes, Local 1075, St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. Joshua J. Como, Local 362, South Bend, Indiana. Donald W. Wallace, Local 112, Los Angeles, California. David S. Arnold, Local 1589, Narragansett, Rhode Island. Blair W. Gibson, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario. Karen A. Schwart, Local 332, Asheville, North Carolina. Paul V. Purcell Sr., Local 3217, Metropolitan Washington Airport, District of Columbia.
Christopher B. Parker, Local 372, Long Beach, California. Daniel D. Prod, Local 255, Calgary, Alberta.
Lucas J. Rainville, Local 4345, Horry County, South Carolina. Haran B. Israel, Local 341, Houston, Texas. Gregory A. Crawford, Sr., Local 202, Fresno, California. Gary D. Oliver, Local 1364, Ventura County, California. Raymond V. Bersiga, Local 4612, Richmond, Texas. Mark R. Danielson, Local 3631, Orange County, California. Jason R. Baker, Local 8, Great Falls, Montana. Gary R. Hart, Local 1364, Ventura County, California. Keith J. Hernandez, Local 3747, Kings County, California. Andrew J. Douglas, Local 374, Baltimore, Maryland.
Diego Rabora, Local 4321, Broward County, Florida.
Stephen F. Casados, Local 2881, Cal Fire, Sacramento, California. Stephen M. Pina, Local 1032, Medford, Massachusetts. Art McGlynn, Local 1552, Burlington, Ontario. Brent F. Carter, Local 3217, Metropolitan Washington Airport, District of Columbia. Christopher J. Cornetta, Local 1992, North Attleboro, Massachusetts. Jacob L. Ringering, Local 1692, Godfrey, Illinois. Odell R. Minor, Local 215, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Lloyd C. Mitchell, Local 1304, Kitimat, British Columbia. Gene M. Polson, Local 255, Calgary, Alberta. Mark E. Meyer, Local 176, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Michael J. Bernstein, Local 22, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Skylar L. Blackie, Local 1627, Truro, Nova Scotia. R. Michael Williams, Jr., Local 3178, Capel, Texas. Timothy Travis Owens, Local 77, St. Joseph, Missouri. James C. Woodman, Local 1198, West Haven, Connecticut. James B. Blundell, Local 18, Vancouver, British Columbia. Timothy P. O'Neill, Local 854, New York, New York. Ryan D. Phillips, Local 176, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Nikki Sullivan, Local 2260, Mesa, Arizona. Kevin E. Lennon, Local 94, New York, New York. Stanley F. Craig, Local 2881, Cal Fire, Sacramento, California. Christopher Slutman, Local 94, New York, New York.
Marcel Charbonneau, Local 125, Montréal, Québec. Raymond Charlebois, Local 125, Montréal, Québec.
Trevor A. Murphy, Local 3816, Orange Township, Ohio.
Lloyd E. Mosley, Jr., Local 58, Dallas, Texas. Rick Tingle, Local 323, Burnaby, British Columbia.
Joseph Ortuzo, Local 125, Montréal, Québec.
Bernard J. Bartmanovich, Local 867, Winnipeg, Manitoba. Eric T. S. Crepane, Local 2455, Slidell, Louisiana. Brian R. Helm, Local 1286, Richmond, British Columbia. Gordon W. Crawford, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario. Ron R. Renville, Local 18, Vancouver, British Columbia. Alfred D. Bowser, Local 169, Peterborough, Ontario. John L. Bloom, Local 58, Dallas, Texas.
Yvon Coupal, Local 125, Montréal, Québec.
Stephen K. Anascavage, Sr., Local 4321, Broward County, Florida. Robert E. Collis, Local 854, New York, New York. Christopher T. Askew, Local 4147, Westlake, Texas. Vincent F. Rogers, Local 1067, Riverside City, California. Mitchell F. Lundgaard, Local 257, Appleton, Wisconsin. Edmund F. Lynch, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario. Heather J. Callahan, Local 2449, Chesapeake, Virginia.
Brian J. Beck, Jr., Local 493, Phoenix, Arizona. Mark A. Tolbert, Local 1014, Los Angeles County, California. Arthur P. Wick, Local 18, Vancouver, British Columbia. Charles A. Ruffing, Local 149, Boise, Idaho. Kevin G. Teague, Local 440, Fort Worth, Texas. Alan L. McLeod, Local 18, Vancouver, British Columbia.
Serge Lachapelle, Local 125, Montréal, Québec.
Robert A. Frank, Local 4027, Springdale, Ohio. Thomas F. Kinney, Local 2172, Hyannis, Massachusetts. Ken J. Kinney, Local 323, Burnaby, British Columbia.
Serge Buron, Local 125, Montréal, Québec.
Marty F. Osborne, Local 1077, Claremore, Oklahoma. Christopher R. Moore, Local 2665, St. Peters, Missouri. Stacy A. Hamilton, Local 2881, Cal Fire, Sacramento, California. Jeremy P. Knott, Local 385, Omaha, Nebraska. James A. Buckley, Local 2881, Cal Fire, Sacramento, California. Felix R. DeRoche, Local 867, Winnipeg, Manitoba. Dale A. Brown, Local 38, Covington, Kentucky.
John T. Moran, Local 854, New York, New York. Raymond G. Rumming, Local 142, London, Ontario. Robert D. Lang, Local 497, Belleville, Ontario. Gregory A. Simerson, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario. Joseph A. Walsh, Local 94, New York, New York. Brandon E. Hoostry, Local 3556, El Dorado County, California. William J. Robertson, Local 1271, Surrey, British Columbia. Donald C. Welker, Local 112, Los Angeles, California. Dean W. Lewis, Local 3007, Springdale, Arkansas. Brian J. Dixon, Local 2400, San Mateo County, California. Lloyd W. Stewart, Local 94, New York, New York. Darrell Lynn Pace, Local 737, Ithaca, New York. Daniel P. Finnegan, Local 771, St. John, New Brunswick. Lawrence H. Goldberg, Local 964, Baltimore, Maryland. Kevin J. Nolan, Local 94, New York, New York. Thomas M. Spila, Local 1876, East Hampton, Massachusetts. Leroy Rodriguez Sr., Local 718, Boston, Massachusetts. Richard N. Driscoll III, Local 94, New York, New York.
John R. Kennedy, Local 1009, Worcester, Massachusetts. Jeffrey C. Strobel, Local 1249, Roswell, New Mexico. Scott D. Eli, Local 2829, Redmond, Washington. Gregory R. Wise, Local 134, Atlanta, Georgia. Karen J. Overcash, Local 2294, Hillsborough County, Florida. Charles H. Albrandt, Local 1945, Fort Collins, Colorado. Yaroslav I. Katkov, Local 2881, Cal Fire, Sacramento, California. David P. Kohler, Local 362, South Bend, Indiana. Brian J. Sullivan, Local 854, New York, New York. Barry E. Lane, Local 1632, Pickering, Ontario. David L. Hughes, Local 68, Norfolk, Virginia. Robert B. Fitzgibbon, Local 94, New York, New York. James G. Loseth, Local 953, Kelowna, British Columbia. Richard Mahoney, Local 48501, Westchester, Illinois. Kyle T. Rice, Local 341, Houston, Texas.
Fernand Jean, Local 125, Montréal, Québec.
Walter McKee, Local 94, New York, New York. Jerry D. Bayton, Local 42, Kansas City, Missouri.
Dennis P. Ryan, Local 1102, Hialeah, Florida.
Rémi Neveu, Local 125, Montréal, Québec.
Jack Boyle, Local 94, New York, New York. Anthony Morado Sr., Local 341, Houston, Texas. Patrick J. Stanton, Local 282, Buffalo, New York. William S. Wilson, Local 1957, Richmond Hill, Ontario. Henry J. Nayhouse, Local 3217, Metropolitan Washington Airport, District of Columbia. Austin M. Peck, Local 4005, Goodyear, Arizona. Paul Zuba, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario. Michael A. Ford Sr., Local 2455, Slidell, Louisiana. Roger Espinal, Local 94, New York, New York. John J. Nikiel, Local 854, New York, New York. Joseph A. Mary, Local 995, Richmond, Virginia. Michael W. Zanefield, Local 3828, Kelso, Washington. Kenneth D. Stavanoha, Local 341, Houston, Texas. Richard J. Tanagretta, Local 94, New York, New York. Scott R. Newman, Local 2959, Martin County, Florida. G. Henry Threlfall, Local 1286, Richmond, British Columbia. Glenn R. Phillips, Local 112, Los Angeles, California.
Michael K. McCosker, Local 112, Los Angeles, California. Paul V. Rodendaro, Local 2881, Cal Fire, Sacramento, California. Kirk D. Robinson, Local 2099, Bothell, Washington. Paul E. Quattlebaum, Jr., Local 4529, Lexington County, South Carolina. Brian J. Poole, Local 136, Dayton, Ohio. John B. Martin, Local 345, Louisville, Kentucky. Scott A. Shaw, Local 341, Houston, Texas. Vance C. Ertmode, Local 255, Calgary, Alberta. Scott M. Maines, Local 330, Akron, Ohio. Gregory P. Garza, Local 624, San Antonio, Texas. Kevin C. Wells, Local 648, Springfield, Massachusetts. Paul Villeneuve, Local 288, Hamilton, Ontario. James J. McGowan, Local 854, New York, New York. James J. Boyle, Local 94, New York, New York. Rudolph Metzger, Local 3730, Carlsbad, California. Alex D. Graham, Local 36, Washington, District of Columbia. Matthew J. McDevitt, Local 94, New York, New York. Joseph Collar, Local 953, Kelowna, British Columbia. Kelly M. Mullen, Local 18, Vancouver, British Columbia.
John V. Bettini, Jr., Local 626, Yonkers, New York. Herbert A. Hammond, Local 1137, Etobicoke, Ontario. James V. Como, Local 112, Los Angeles, California. Arthur W. Ordish, Local 142, London, Ontario. Andrew S. Gargiulo, Local 94, New York, New York. Walter S. Bosak, Local 485, St. Catharines, Ontario. John P. Cronin, Local 2400, San Mateo County, California. Tracy L. Hayden, Local 416, Indianapolis, Indiana. David R. Ankin, Local Sierra 20, Florida State Fire Service. Richard S. Stryker, Local 854, New York, New York. David G. Judge, Local 142, London, Ontario. Jason J. Menard, Local 1009, Worcester, Massachusetts. Philip B. Oldham, Local 4258, Grays Harbor, Washington. Rick W. Watson, Local 112, Los Angeles, California. Eric L. Morrison, Local 33, Fort Smith, Arkansas. Clifford R. DeMuro, Local 94, New York, New York. Dean A. Hale, Local 3540, Marietta, California. Turker Aksoy, Local 1081, Westport, Connecticut. James Ritchie, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario.
We will now present the 161 IAFF members who died in the line of duty between January 1st and December 31st, 2020.
Joseph M. DeCorte, Local 22. Tamara L. Thatcher, Local 522, Sacramento, California. Jeremy J. McKay, Local 3362, Clay County, Florida. William L. Knott, Local 1014, Los Angeles County, California. Dennis M. Gilhooly, Local 854, New York, New York. Brian W. Case, Local 94, New York, New York.
Robert Dupré, Local 125, Montréal, Québec.
Gary Cool, Local 3631, Orange County, California. Kevin A. Lego, Local 341, Houston, Texas. William C. Anderson, Local 18, Vancouver, British Columbia. Kenneth W. Swan, Local 18, Vancouver, British Columbia. Troy S. Jackson, Local 2086, South Metro, Colorado. Owen J. Connell, Local 499, Cambridge, Ontario. K. Dieter Bertram, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario. George M. Helfer, Local 858, Denver, Colorado. David L. Lewis, Local 1352, Auburn, Washington. Harold D. McKee, Local 4066, Irondale, Alabama. Daniel A. Kenny, Local 1576, Oromocto, New Brunswick.
Roland Houle, Local 125, Montréal, Québec.
Michael E. Francis, Local 1560, Boca Raton, Florida.
Joseph M. DeCorte, Local 2294, Hillsborough County, Florida. Charles H. McCormick, Local 3112, Cass County, Missouri. Robert A. Ramos, Local 1230, Contra Costa County, California. Robert J. Reese, Local 2717, St. Francis, Wisconsin. Johnny Jacobs, Local 3681, Georgetown, Kentucky. Robert L. Weiss, Local 209, Edmonton, Alberta. Eric Hill, Local 972, Lubbock, Texas. Wayne Elford, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario. Rick Hawkins, Local 2494, Fort McMurray, Alberta. Ronald A. Fife, Local 18, Vancouver, British Columbia. Hillary John Hartman, Local 5150, Dickinson, North Dakota. Richard J. Feldman, Local 1265, Sparks, Nevada. Ignatius J. Nash, Local 1075, St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. Christopher M. Still, Local 1616, Weymouth, Massachusetts. Stuart L. Weatherford, Local 883, Tyler, Texas. Douglas H. Borgerdine, Local 136, Dayton, Ohio. Russell D. Horn, Local 841, New Bedford, Massachusetts.
Michael L. Feldman, Local 94, New York, New York. Darren Jones, Local 215, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Sean H. Land, Local 2924, Virginia Beach, Virginia. Dan E. Moran, Local 1309, West Metro, Colorado. Richard B. Jones, Local 94, New York, New York. Paul W. Dio Jr., Local 854, New York, New York. Gregory J. Coleman, Local 1363, Cranston, Rhode Island. William R. Hawkins, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario. Joseph A. Hatzelman, Local 94, New York, New York. Roger K. Martin, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario. Daniel R. Foley, Local 94, New York, New York.
Bernard Tremblay, local 125, Montréal, Québec.
James B. Sukup, Local 341, Houston, Texas. Samuel C. Neubauer, Local 1014, Los Angeles County, California. Tommy Arriaga, Local 493, Tempe, Arizona. Anthony Thompson, Local 718, Boston, Massachusetts. Travis B. Mahoney, Local 338, Elkhart, Indiana. Gerald Don Becker, Local 2149, Plano, Texas. Dennis J. Moynihan, Local 854, New York, New York. Donald Franz, Local 854, New York, New York. Gerald D. Bellamy, Local 2201, Indian River, Florida. Bradford S. Smith, Local 1652, Framingham, Massachusetts. Chris Francis, Local 2665, St. Peters, Missouri. Mario E. Araujo, Local 2, Chicago, Illinois. Franklin D. Williams, Jr., Local 344, Detroit, Michigan. Harry W. Skakum, Local 255, Calgary, Alberta. Mike Sokoluk, Local 209, Edmonton, Alberta. Robert A. Bruce, Local 323, Burnaby, British Columbia. John Andrew Schofstall, Local 758, Terre Haute, Indiana. Dwight E. Hicks, Local 136, Dayton, Ohio. Billy W. Birmingham, Local 42, Kansas City, Missouri. Dominic Marino, Local 3950, North Hudson, New Jersey. Edward L. Singleton, Local 2, Chicago, Illinois. Richard P. Campbell, Local 2883, Edison, New Jersey. Craig Shormess, Local 2665, St. Peters, Missouri. Victor Patrick Kelly, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario.
Ray E. Van Blarkum, Local 112, Los Angeles, California. Edward J. Sioka, Local 274, White Plains, New York. Andrew J. DiMaggio, Local 273, New Rochelle, New York. Glenn Grieve, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario. Matthew J. Kelly, Local 574, Savannah, Georgia. David W. Mathis, Local 493, Phoenix, Arizona. John C. Doherty, Local 255, Calgary, Alberta. Paul J. Greco, Local 94, New York, New York. Kevin C. Dunn, Local 854, New York, New York. David F. Jameson, Jr., Local 781, Independence, Missouri. James B. Tugger, Local 60, Scranton, Pennsylvania. William R. Cahill, Local 76, Somerville, Massachusetts. Roger Gay K. Thompson, Local 255, Calgary, Alberta. Thomas Keith McMillan, Local 18, Vancouver, British Columbia. Todd G. Gagnon, Local 4662, Cromwell, Connecticut. Hans Bolowich, Local 2881, Cal Fire, Sacramento, California. G. Walter Taylor, Local F121, Annapolis, Maryland. Donald G. Taylor, Local 255, Calgary, Alberta.
Stephen R. Hill, Local 1954, Richardson, Texas. Anthony J. Catapano, Local 94, New York, New York. Brad A. Scott, Local 2000, Howard County, Maryland. Christopher D. Orlowski, Local 135, Wichita, Kansas. Eric M. Gore, Local 22, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Paul A. McManaman, Local 94, New York, New York. James F. Horn, Local 1365, Orlando, Florida. Jackie J. DeHaro, Local 479, Tucson, Arizona. Russell A. Brode, Local 330, Akron, Ohio. Michael McLaughlin, Local 1820, Mansfield, Massachusetts. Robert D. Reed, Local 80, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Kendall J. Ward, Local 814, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Stephen M. Letourneau, Local 18, Vancouver, British Columbia. Paige Madrid, Local 2881, CAL FIRE, Sacramento, California. Jason R. O'Brien, Local 2881, CAL FIRE, Sacramento, California. Clay Westfall, Local 3552, Harrison Township, Ohio. Brian K. Valentine, Local 1014, Los Angeles, California. David Rivet, Local 1271, Surrey, British Columbia.
Forward, march. Stephen S. Bailey, Local 1296, Kennewick, Washington. Leroy P. Lucio, Local 341, Houston, Texas. Brian E. Hardiman, Local 1365, Orlando, Florida. Richard Kubler, Local 2081, Hackensack, New Jersey. Frederick R. Hall, Local 528, Niagara Falls, Ontario. Jose M. Perez, Local 112, Los Angeles, California. Daniel M. Kendall, Local 2999, Duncanville, Texas. J. Gregory Heinze, Local 12, Wheeling, West Virginia. Chad E. Crisp, Local 820, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Gerardo I. Pacheco, Local 341, Houston, Texas. Anthony C. Christensen, Local 2174, Naples, Florida. Eric T. Hayashi, Local 1463, Hawaiian Islands, Hawaii. Jesus de la Rosa, Jr., Local 3207, Westlaco, Texas. Edward F. Suarez, Local 3128, Fitchburg, Massachusetts. Jonathan Q. Wilson, Local 3010, Waxahachie, Texas. Gary Eric Campbell, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario. Daryl W. Dabbling, Local I-24, Hanford, Washington. Brian D. Doherty, Local 718, Boston, Massachusetts.
Richard A. Petras, Local 93, Cleveland, Ohio. Michael J. Fournier, Local 1014, Los Angeles County, California. Savad H. Johnson, Local 344, Detroit, Michigan. Thomas P. McDonough, Local 21, St. Paul, Minnesota. John P. Fogarty, Local 94, New York, New York. Michael J. Piter, Local 21, St. Paul, Minnesota. Christopher J. Fabian, Local 740, Portland, Maine. Brian A. Oxenbury, Local 18, Vancouver, British Columbia. J. Chris Cage, Local 1696, Salt Lake County, Utah. Dwight F. Robertson, Local 3660, Weston, Massachusetts. Tommy W. Searcy, Local 341, Houston, Texas. James E. Townsend, Local 279, Cheyenne, Wyoming. Timothy J. Burke, Local 94, New York, New York. Lee Holbert, Local 2182, Carrollton, Texas. David Musieski, Local 3498, Worthington, Ohio. Corey Norton, Local 935, San Bernardino County, California. John J. McGrath, Local 1714, Marlborough, Massachusetts. Jeffrey T. Elks, Local 244, Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Richard V. Todd, Local 5226, Salem, West Virginia. Jeff Saul, Local 1329, Arlington, Texas. Dylan T. Cunningham, Local 4109, South Holland, Illinois. Joey L. Morano, Local 76, Somerville, Massachusetts. Stephen C. Collins, Local 440, Fort Worth, Texas. Robert J. Rouse, Local 455, Windsor, Ontario. Donald F. King, Local 1732, Coburg, Ontario. Jason A. Cortez, Local 798, San Francisco, California. Roderick W. Longpre, Local 136, Dayton, Ohio. Lemuel D. Bruce, Jr., Local 341, Houston, Texas. Scott W. McLean, Local 1264, Anchorage, Alaska. James L. Lurch, Jr., Local 1803, Reading, Pennsylvania. John P. Poulos, Local 854, New York, New York. David W. Kerr, Local 2130, St. Albert, Alberta. Jonathan J. Donaldson, Local 282, Buffalo, New York. Chester G. Kimbrell, Local 341, Houston, Texas. Matthew D. Bennett, Local 416, Indianapolis, Indiana. Sean D. Laffin, Local 55, Oakland, California.
William Hodgins, Local 94, New York, New York. Don Beauchesne Jr., Local 204, Warren, Ohio. Robert J. Rocha, Local 42, Kansas City, Missouri. Scott C. Davidson, Local 42, Kansas City, Missouri. Christopher R. Sluzak, Local 1557, Sterling Heights, Michigan. Alex Lobsinger, Local 485, St. Catharines, Ontario. David P. Murphy, Local 1080, Newport, Rhode Island. Jeffrey Allen Guernsey, Local 3369, Washington Township, Ohio. Raymond C. Johnson, Local 718, Boston, Massachusetts. Robert E. O'Grady, Local 136, Dayton, Ohio. James Dustin Samples, Local 3748, Cleveland, Tennessee. Darlene G. Raffleson, Local 2409, Tumwater, Washington. Robert Truvillian, Local 2, Chicago, Illinois. Randall D. Robinson, Local 440, Fort Worth, Texas. Robert J. Kelly, Local 94, New York, New York. Brandon T. Peterson, Local 3164, Lancaster, Texas. Stephen Sunday, Local 60, Scranton, Pennsylvania. Mark S. Rodell, Local 2881, Cal Fire, Sacramento, California.
everyone please rise? I am Bruce Brown, your IAFF Honor Guard Commander. The sounding of the bell is a tradition of the fire service. In the past, as firefighters began their tour of duty, it was the bell that signaled the beginning of that day's shift. Throughout the day and night, each alarm was sounded by a bell, which would summon these brave men and women to fight fires and to place their lives on the line for the good of their fellow citizens. When the fire was out and the alarm had come to an end, it was the bell that signaled the completion of that call. When a firefighter had died in the line of duty, it was the toll of the bell that solemnly announced a comrade's passing. And so, to those who have selflessly given their lives for the good of their fellow man, their task completed, their duties well done, we will again sound their last alarm. They have gone home. All uniformed personnel, attention! Present on.
all.
Whenever a member of this union falls in the line of duty, the colors of our two great nations, this beautiful state, and our very own IAFF are lowered from full staff to half staff from the time of the notification through sunset of the day of that member's funeral. The Honor Guard will now raise our memorial flags and then solemnly lower them to half staff in memory of your loved ones. At this time, please remain standing as the IAFF Memorial Honor Guard retires the colors and lowers the memorial flags. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my honor to introduce this union's leader, General President of the International Association of Firefighters, Edward Kelly.
2 days after Christmas Eve in 1989, a fire broke out at the Rose of Sharon Church on the west side of Chicago. Shortly after firefighters started advancing on the fire, there was a catastrophic collapse, trapping engine 107. It became clear that firefighter Kelvin Anderson was trapped under the rubble. As the Chicago Local 2 chaplain, while his fellow firefighters dug to find Kelvin, Father Thomas Mulcrone knew it was his calling to be with the Anderson family. So he left the fire scene and went directly to their house. That's his calling. That's why he's our chaplain, the IAFF Fallen Firefighter Memorial Chaplain. That calling is why we're gathered here today. We're here to honor and pay tribute to the 469 IAFF members whose names, sadly, are going on these walls alongside Kelvin's. We're here to honor husbands, wives, brothers, sisters, pops, Grammy, Dad, Mom. All who had one thing in common. They took an oath, and then they lived it. And that oath says, when someone's in a fight, they're jumping in. That fight could be a heart attack, a hurricane, a wildfire, a bomb exploding. We vow to take the legacy that they left us, that legacy of putting others before self, to protect their brothers and sisters, their fellow firefighters, and their grandchildren, to protect them for those who the toxins that they're exposed to during the course of their careers that ultimately led to their death. We owe it to our fallen to never back down. That's the legacy that they left to us. To jump in the fight for others. And that is why we will dedicate ourselves to that effort. We must live their example and fight every day to make a difference for the generations that come behind us, their loved ones. That's our mission. That's the IAFF mission. I hope that in this promise we make to never forget, in the spirit of the gift of sacrifice that your loved one gave to us, that our promise shines a ray of God's grace and love into the pain you have in your hearts. Grief and sorrow are the price of love. Give us the honor of carrying it with you, not just today, but every day. On behalf of the IAFF, this brotherhood, this sisterhood, we are here for you, and we always will be. We are your family, and God bless our fallen.
Majesties
As mentioned previously, whenever a member of this union falls in the line of duty, the colors of our two great nations, this beautiful state and our very own IAFF, are lowered from full staff to half staff from the time of notification through the sunset of the day of that member's funeral. The Honor Guard will now raise our memorial flags and then solemnly lower them to half staff in memory of your loved ones. At this time, please rise as the IAFF Memorial Honor Guard retires the collars and lowers the memorial flags.
Prepare to retrieve color. Ready? Ready? Straight. Left, face. Left, face. Mark time. March. By the one. Forward. March. All uniformed personnel. Attention. Present out. Order. Out. Present arms. Order. Out.
Please be seated. As we bring this memorial to a close, IAFF Honor Guard Commander Bruce Brown of Orange County, California, Local 3631, Deputy Commander John Sobey of Ottawa, Ontario, Local 162, Deputy Commander Brent Jones of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Local 215, and led by Pipe Major Hunter Chapeau of Houston, Texas, Local 341, will render a final salute to the families of our fallen and retrieve our honor guard. Thank you to the Colorado Springs Chorale for performing today to honor our fallen brothers and sisters, and you, their family and friends. To you, the families of our fallen brothers and sisters, thank you for joining us in remembering your loved ones. We hope that this has been a moving and a memorable tribute for all of you. We want you to know that this memorial is your memorial. As General President Kelly made clear, you are part of our family and are welcome to return at any time. We hope you will visit us again. Please remain in your seats during the Honor Guard final formation on the plaza and the final dismissal. And may God bless each of you as you travel home.
Honor Guard! Forward! March!
Commanders, follow. Face.
On the guard. Oh, boat. Peace. You are dismissed.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand by. We will let you know when you may enter the plaza.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are free to enter the plaza. Thank you for your patience.